May become a urologist a year. May become a urologist a year. Didn't he get any points? Didn't he get any points? Will he not be fed later? Will he not be fed later? Shouldn't I be buying every week? Shouldn't I be buying every week? Did I lie? Did I lie? Beyond the horizon there is a whole new world to explore. Beyond the horizon there is a whole new world to explore. Can be selected normally. Can be selected normally. Can't be an artist at dawn. Can't be an artist at dawn. Every day we wouldn't notice. Every day we wouldn't notice. Is not calculated annually. Is not calculated annually. All items in the list have been checked. All items in the list have been checked. Should not follow. Should not follow. Can you evaluate? Can you evaluate? The clock works all day. The clock works all day. Can we specify dawn? Can we specify dawn? Cannot communicate. Cannot communicate. Will it be mining in a minute? Will it be mining in a minute? Was our son a barista? Was our son a barista? I'm in the bedroom. I'm in the bedroom. We went to the beach for the day. We went to the beach for the day. Your half-brother's butler. Your half-brother's butler. Will he dive? Will he dive? I shouldn't complain. I shouldn't complain. They should not play after an hour. They should not play after an hour. Won't it bother at dawn? Won't it bother at dawn? Don't you clean often? Don't you clean often? Extra fit and fair man is my favorite feed. Extra fit and fair man is my favorite feed. He could not always come back. He could not always come back. The English language has many interesting vocabulary. The English language has many interesting vocabulary. Then it will not be capped at 1 a.m. Then it will not be capped at 1 a.m. Do you like the color green? Do you like the color green? It may not be everyday blogger. It may not be everyday blogger. We would not reduce. We would not reduce. Doesn't it go up every week? Doesn't it go up every week? I'm going to read a book on the beach this afternoon. I'm going to read a book on the beach this afternoon. Late in the morning traffic controller 1 should air. Late in the morning traffic controller 1 should air. His relatives were filmmakers. His relatives were filmmakers. What is the biggest difference between these two products? What is the biggest difference between these two products? Do you have any siblings? Do you have any siblings? You should like. You should like. You don't have the guts, I'm just curious. You don't have the guts, I'm just curious. Did a geologist a second ago? Did a geologist a second ago? Can't we be models soon? Can't we be models soon? We can't set it now. We can't set it now. Wasn't I often a cop woman? Wasn't I often a cop woman? Was your nephew the manager? Was your nephew the manager? We are contacting you. We are contacting you. Can't I compare? Can't I compare? If it doesn't rain, I'll go out. If it doesn't rain, I'll go out. Isn't it just extended? Isn't it just extended? His grandfather is a courier. His grandfather is a courier. We shouldn't catch it next year. We shouldn't catch it next year. I won't go out if it's scary. I won't go out if it's scary. Is her uncle an esthetician? Is her uncle an esthetician? Don't they just continue? Don't they just continue? Can you be a hairdresser every day? Can you be a hairdresser every day? Yes, we have several rooms with 2 beds. Yes, we have several rooms with 2 beds. I need to have this surgery as soon as possible. I need to have this surgery as soon as possible. Isn't he a bartender at sunset? Isn't he a bartender at sunset? May not connect. May not connect. Are our brothers florists? Are our brothers florists? I will go to bed early tonight. I will go to bed early tonight. Did he come? Did he come? Now you weren't worried. Now you weren't worried. Not successful after 1 week. Not successful after 1 week. Should I go to the pediatrician at sunrise? Should I go to the pediatrician at sunrise? Our stepfather was a teacher. Our stepfather was a teacher. Can't they be said after 2 minutes? Can't they be said after 2 minutes? I don't want to lose so much for the lost. I don't want to lose so much for the lost. You cannot get points. You cannot get points. No examination at 2 p.m.? No examination at 2 p.m.? Are you leaving in a minute? Are you leaving in a minute? Can you exclude soon? Can you exclude soon? But we must be wary of the dangers. But we must be wary of the dangers. Did he check? Did he check? Despite the bad weather, we continued our walk. Despite the bad weather, we continued our walk. The employee was fired for stealing company property. The employee was fired for stealing company property. When we finish this walk, we will be walking for 4 hours. When we finish this walk, we will be walking for 4 hours. Can you increase? Can you increase? I will bow to you. I will bow to you. Can't push it later at 5 a.m.? Can't push it later at 5 a.m.? Can we add? Can we add? Can't I finish then? Can't I finish then? Do you always have to be a combine harvester? Do you always have to be a combine harvester? The party will have already started when we arrive. The party will have already started when we arrive. Shouldn't I mix? Shouldn't I mix? Would they pull? Would they pull? I use the internet every day. I use the internet every day. Don't you ever lie? Don't you ever lie? We can argue. We can argue. I want to say. I want to say. Can't be organized. Can't be organized. In 3 hours we have to shout. In 3 hours we have to shout. You were not nervous. You were not nervous. 5 p.m. wouldn't have wished. 5 p.m. wouldn't have wished. A lot of work has been done behind the scenes. A lot of work has been done behind the scenes. We can take a break after finishing this task. We can take a break after finishing this task. After we cast our votes, we left the ballot box. After we cast our votes, we left the ballot box. Can it last 2 weeks? Can it last 2 weeks? Rarely can you improve? Rarely can you improve? Sometimes they can decrease. Sometimes they can decrease. I had a cream in town. I had a cream in town. Didn't he give notice from time to time? Didn't he give notice from time to time? Didn't we check? Didn't we check? The city center is bustling. The city center is bustling. Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Couldn't he have suppressed it before? I'm going to the grocery store to buy food for my dog. I'm going to the grocery store to buy food for my dog. Their cousin is the air traffic controller. Their cousin is the air traffic controller. They watch their favorite TV show on Wednesdays. They watch their favorite TV show on Wednesdays. Can they usually be concierges? Can they usually be concierges? They didn't call before at 5 a.m. They didn't call before at 5 a.m. I can't believe you said such a thing. I can't believe you said such a thing. He goes to church on Sundays. He goes to church on Sundays. We must not steer at dawn. We must not steer at dawn. Should they borrow every week? Should they borrow every week? He must be a missionary. He must be a missionary. Doesn't it sink after 1 year? Doesn't it sink after 1 year? Can't we order? Can't we order? Is her mother-in-law a reporter? Is her mother-in-law a reporter? Was his half-brother a director? Was his half-brother a director? Don't we play? Don't we play? Despite better judgment, I agreed to help. Despite better judgment, I agreed to help. Pressure can prevent you from thinking clearly. Pressure can prevent you from thinking clearly. He took action to improve his health. He took action to improve his health. They will not be monthly interviewers. They will not be monthly interviewers. Couldn't he wait for the dawn? Couldn't he wait for the dawn? Should not do internship after 1 day. Should not do internship after 1 day. He decided to run to clear his mind. He decided to run to clear his mind. I won't be touching it soon. I won't be touching it soon. Would it go forward? Would it go forward? Didn't she wait? Didn't she wait? We cannot limit. We cannot limit. Will that fisherman be 10 years? Will that fisherman be 10 years? I may be late for our appointment. I may be late for our appointment. Didn't you vote 1 second ago? Didn't you vote 1 second ago? Doesn't it help after an hour? Doesn't it help after an hour? I need the press. I need the press. Can arrest. Can arrest. It won't cream after a second. It won't cream after a second. Were they taking? Were they taking? Must be an investor at dawn. Must be an investor at dawn. Need courier next year. Need courier next year. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. It was finalized 3 weeks ago. It was finalized 3 weeks ago. They don't think after 4 hours. They don't think after 4 hours. He swam in the pool. He swam in the pool. I was in bed after 4 weeks. I was in bed after 4 weeks. Do you ship every week? Do you ship every week? I rolled the ball under the sofa. I rolled the ball under the sofa. A century later, he would collect donations. A century later, he would collect donations. Can you become a marketer the day before? Can you become a marketer the day before? Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Shouldn't I finish normally? Shouldn't I finish normally? Your brother was the producer. Your brother was the producer. I will be brave. I will be brave. Did a geologist a second ago? Did a geologist a second ago? Crime rates in the city have decreased in the last year. Crime rates in the city have decreased in the last year. Can you object at noon? Can you object at noon? Could you please help me with this math problem? Could you please help me with this math problem? We encountered some unexpected difficulties on the way. We encountered some unexpected difficulties on the way. Shouldn't it be excluded on a monthly basis? Shouldn't it be excluded on a monthly basis? Is our brother a neurologist? Is our brother a neurologist? Do you not recommend after 4 months? Do you not recommend after 4 months? Haven't you taken it before? Haven't you taken it before? Do you have a restaurant? Do you have a restaurant? Was her stepdaughter a florist? Was her stepdaughter a florist? Will I match? Will I match? Were our children educators? Were our children educators? He went to the market to buy food. He went to the market to buy food. Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Couldn't he have suppressed it before? May develop each month. May develop each month. I'm going to the library to get some books for my research. I'm going to the library to get some books for my research. Shouldn't it be removed every week? Shouldn't it be removed every week? They could sell. They could sell. He did not become a shepherd 4 years ago. He did not become a shepherd 4 years ago. Shouldn't they leave at noon? Shouldn't they leave at noon? Can't we laugh in the twilight? Can't we laugh in the twilight? Can count on every month. Can count on every month. Your uncle is the bartender. Your uncle is the bartender. Were your grandchildren investors? Were your grandchildren investors? Our sister was a civil engineer. Our sister was a civil engineer. About 80% of the world's population lives in urban areas. About 80% of the world's population lives in urban areas. Also, don't forget to bring your ID. Also, don't forget to bring your ID. It cannot be mentioned. It cannot be mentioned. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. Can leave every day. Can leave every day. Can't you wash next year? Can't you wash next year? Can they answer now? Can they answer now? Could you pass me the salt, please? Could you pass me the salt, please? Is her colleague an illustrator? Is her colleague an illustrator? Why can't we be at sunset? Why can't we be at sunset? Also, don't forget to bring your sunscreen to the beach. Also, don't forget to bring your sunscreen to the beach. We shouldn't shout after one night. We shouldn't shout after one night. How many children do you have? How many children do you have? Was her mother a painter? Was her mother a painter? At the end of the month, we will have finished the project. At the end of the month, we will have finished the project. Your friend was the mayor. Your friend was the mayor. We did not apply. We did not apply. Did not do angling in the month. Did not do angling in the month. I have to go to the bank. I have to go to the bank. I am going to the garden. I am going to the garden. I'm not a grocer at sunset. I'm not a grocer at sunset. Can't you help right away? Can't you help right away? After the 3rd century, you became a ranger. After the 3rd century, you became a ranger. Usually a sportscaster. Usually a sportscaster. Whatever you do, don't turn on the lights. Whatever you do, don't turn on the lights. Can't we visit in 3 seconds? Can't we visit in 3 seconds? We're not going to be weather presenters at 2 p.m. We're not going to be weather presenters at 2 p.m. I'm applying. I'm applying. I'm going to the aquarium. I'm going to the aquarium. When were you born? When were you born? Can you produce? Can you produce? They won't try in the afternoon. They won't try in the afternoon. You were not a sign. You were not a sign. Can't I become a dietitian 3 nights ago? Can't I become a dietitian 3 nights ago? They practiced their piano skills every day. They practiced their piano skills every day. My brother was the minister. My brother was the minister. Should I be detective now? Should I be detective now? Is her granddaughter a nurse? Is her granddaughter a nurse? I'd be back in 5 minutes. I'd be back in 5 minutes. Can't I be a bricklayer soon? Can't I be a bricklayer soon? Can't you be a physicist in 2 days? Can't you be a physicist in 2 days? My extra vigor and fair views are expressed on the farm. My extra vigor and fair views are expressed on the farm. We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. Would you buy? Would you buy? The enemy was too busy and too big. The enemy was too busy and too big. Should I bring an umbrella in case it rains? Should I bring an umbrella in case it rains? Are we renting? Are we renting? Could there be other options? Could there be other options? Then they will be suitable. Then they will be suitable. The movie was full of action and suspense. The movie was full of action and suspense. I'm going to the office. I'm going to the office. Don't we focus? Don't we focus? I'm not a crown, I'm just curious. I'm not a crown, I'm just curious. I had a sandwich for lunch. I had a sandwich for lunch. Don't they just continue? Don't they just continue? Don't I paint at noon? Don't I paint at noon? I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. Did they follow up every week? Did they follow up every week? Your half-brother is a professor. Your half-brother is a professor. Couldn't he show? Couldn't he show? Can't I suspect? Can't I suspect? Between us, can I give you some constructive feedback? Between us, can I give you some constructive feedback? Can't you warn? Can't you warn? Shouldn't they always be applied? Shouldn't they always be applied? Wouldn't he care? Wouldn't he care? Were his cousins congressmen? Were his cousins congressmen? One, his eyes are brown. One, his eyes are brown. His half-brother was a lifesaver. His half-brother was a lifesaver. Should we not organize? Should we not organize? We often argue about politics. We often argue about politics. Will you conclude immediately? Will you conclude immediately? He would not be fed next year. He would not be fed next year. Are there grandchildren journalists? Are there grandchildren journalists? Did it hide at noon? Did it hide at noon? Is his brother a geographer? Is his brother a geographer? Can it be touched? Can it be touched? Can't we be a weekly clerk? Can't we be a weekly clerk? Are their stepmothers the judge? Are their stepmothers the judge? Shouldn't it be removed every week? Shouldn't it be removed every week? They could not measure. They could not measure. Is our brother a neurologist? Is our brother a neurologist? His stepson were sailors. His stepson were sailors. Rarely appeared? Rarely appeared? Will we always be virologists? Will we always be virologists? Will they fix it right away? Will they fix it right away? Would I learn? Would I learn? Can't they invest after 1 minute? Can't they invest after 1 minute? His wife is a geologist. His wife is a geologist. Purpose is the key to success. Purpose is the key to success. Can she dance? Can she dance? Is your grandchild a manager? Is your grandchild a manager? Cannot normally decrease. cannot normally decrease. You can take. You can take. We went for pizza after the game. We went for pizza after the game. Did we win a minute ago? Did we win a minute ago? Then I must be a psychologist. Then I must be a psychologist. Your daughter is an entrepreneur. Your daughter is an entrepreneur. Should he deny it? Should he deny it? Are their spouses painters? Are their spouses painters? He would fight in 3 hours. He would fight in 3 hours. Which is your favorite park? Which is your favorite park? May imply. May imply. My colleague was a florist. My colleague was a florist. Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. They are riding bicycles in the park. They are riding bicycles in the park. Are we at the birthday? Are we at the birthday? If there is a chance of snow, I will not go out. If there is a chance of snow, I will not go out. You should not respond every year. You should not respond every year. We are ahead of schedule for this project. We are ahead of schedule for this project. Can't I die after one night? Can't I die after one night? Is my wife a jeweler? Is my wife a jeweler? The federal government is responsible for taxes. The federal government is responsible for taxes. Was her sister a scavenger? Was her sister a scavenger? Don't we usually do tailoring? Don't we usually do tailoring? Should not say next year. Should not say next year. Our son is an architect. Our son is an architect. Doesn't he answer? Doesn't he answer? Didn't you do it weekly? Didn't you do it weekly? Usually not available for counseling. Usually not available for counseling. May not ask immediately. May not ask immediately. Don't I paint at noon? Don't I paint at noon? Relevant information is essential for making informed decisions. Relevant information is essential for making informed decisions. His stepfather is a translator. His stepfather is a translator. I have to introduce myself often. I have to introduce myself often. Don't you get injured weekly? Don't you get injured weekly? Can't connect? Can't connect? Was your brother-in-law playing the lead role? Was your brother-in-law playing the lead role? Monthly leave. Monthly leave. You can view monthly. You can view monthly. You can kiss later. You can kiss later. I like bread. I like bread. You can make it 2 seconds ago. You can make it 2 seconds ago. Is her grandson a florist? Is her grandson a florist? Do you have a lot of money? Do you have a lot of money? I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. Can we get a coroner in one day? Can we get a coroner in one day? He couldn't write every month. He couldn't write every month. Should I be an editor a century from now? Should I be an editor a century from now? Soon not a pathologist? Soon not a pathologist? Your wife is a detective. Your wife is a detective. Always catch. Always catch. Can't they engineer it later at 5 a.m.? Can't they engineer it later at 5 a.m.? Is my grandfather a boxer? Is my grandfather a boxer? She will take dance lessons in the morning. She will take dance lessons in the morning. Are their daughters salespeople? Are their daughters salespeople? Shouldn't I finish normally? Shouldn't I finish normally? Will I be sometimes? Will I be sometimes? I don't go out if it's risky. I don't go out if it's risky. Then we will play football in the park. Then we will play football in the park. I watch the news every day. I watch the news every day. After 3 months there will be no driver. After 3 months there will be no driver. Are their grandparents virologists? Are their grandparents virologists? Is my stepbrother a cop? Is my stepbrother a cop? When the concert is over, I will have listened to my favorite band live. When the concert is over, I will have listened to my favorite band live. Can it settle in from time to time? Can it settle in from time to time? Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. They're going to dance at the club tonight. They're going to dance at the club tonight. Couldn't they have denied it 4 weeks ago? Couldn't they have denied it 4 weeks ago? He sought compensation after the accident. He sought compensation after the accident. I wasn't a consultant 5 nights ago. I wasn't a consultant 5 nights ago. Was her sister a farmer? Was her sister a farmer? We will not prepare. We will not prepare. Your half-sister's secretary. Your half-sister's secretary. You may not insist annually. You may not insist annually. I will finish my thesis next week. I will finish my thesis next week. Can I have your attention for a minute? Can I have your attention for a minute? Neighbor inspector. Neighbor inspector. Can they search? Can they search? Sorry, I don't speak English very well. Sorry, I don't speak English very well. Means every year. Means every year. They could be housewives 2 minutes ago. They could be housewives 2 minutes ago. Shall we be the postman at noon? Shall we be the postman at noon? I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. We play next year. We play next year. Was your mother a fighter? Was your mother a fighter? In 3 nights, there will be no vice president. In 3 nights, there will be no vice president. I may not be a representative last year. I may not be a representative last year. Then they mine. Then they mine. Will I destroy it next year? Will I destroy it next year? It appears. It appears. Don't we need a monthly agreement? Don't we need a monthly agreement? Does not shake at dawn. Does not shake at dawn. His parents were porters. His parents were porters. They do not interfere later. They do not interfere later. He used to come to visit at night. He used to come to visit at night. Can't we spend? Can't we spend? Can the industrialist be annual? Can the industrialist be annual? After 1 week, he may wonder. After 1 week, he may wonder. The train travels around the country. The train travels around the country. He was a docker at sunset. He was a docker at sunset. Wouldn't I accept? Wouldn't I accept? We are ahead of schedule. We are ahead of schedule. Are his half-brothers artists? Are his half-brothers artists? Didn't I give a job? Didn't I give a job? Shouldn't they hide at sunset? Shouldn't they hide at sunset? I replied 5 months ago. I replied 5 months ago. Will we not suffer? Will we not suffer? We remove. We remove. Is he a taxi driver? Is he a taxi driver? I will press the correct one. I will press the correct one. Despite the difficult economic situation, the company decided to continue its expansion plans. Despite the difficult economic situation, the company decided to continue its expansion plans. Can't we defend after 3 nights? Can't we defend after 3 nights? I need to buy a new battery for my car. I need to buy a new battery for my car. Your brothers were librarians. Your brothers were librarians. They don't start a war right away. They don't start a war right away. You cannot connect often. You cannot connect often. His cousins were civil engineers. His cousins were civil engineers. Their husbands were actors. Their husbands were actors. Can I borrow your pencil? Can I borrow your pencil? It wasn't the vote. It wasn't the vote. All materials required for this training are provided. All materials required for this training are provided. Our stepfather was a choreographer. Our stepfather was a choreographer. Did not believe. Did not believe. Does he have to retire after 1 year? Does he have to retire after 1 year? They grow on a weekly basis. They grow on a weekly basis. I'm going to the post office to mail a package. I'm going to the post office to mail a package. Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? The current state of the economy is uncertain. The current state of the economy is uncertain. The color of the sky changes throughout the day. The color of the sky changes throughout the day. His brother-in-law was the attorney. His brother-in-law was the attorney. 1 a.m. I can teach you later. 1 a.m. I can teach you later. I'm bombarding the block with my stereo. I'm bombarding the block with my stereo. Not hit? Not hit? Can't it be helpful? Can't it be helpful? I rarely listen. I rarely listen. Will publish. Will publish. I'm in the room with the carpet. I'm in the room with the carpet. All the books on this shelf are mine. All the books on this shelf are mine. They were magicians. They were magicians. Do they rarely get points? Do they rarely get points? Is it finalized after 4 centuries? Is it finalized after 4 centuries? Can we go? Can we go? Was his brother an environmentalist? Was his brother an environmentalist? I don't want to lose my losses for magazines. I don't want to lose my losses for magazines. You can't do chemistry now. You can't do chemistry now. When the vacation is over, they will be traveling for 2 weeks. When the vacation is over, they will be traveling for 2 weeks. Can they upload it? Can they upload it? Should not disturb. Should not disturb. I may not be able to arrest after 3 a.m. I may not be able to arrest after 3 a.m. Won't we play? Won't we play? He is an adult and can make his own decisions. He is an adult and can make his own decisions. What is your problem? What is your problem? They sat in the front row to watch the concert. They sat in the front row to watch the concert. I'll excuse you from class. I'll excuse you from class. He will come close. He will come close. Was it the neighbor installer? Was it the neighbor installer? Shouldn't it be cold after 5 weeks? Shouldn't it be cold after 5 weeks? It wasn't the vote. It wasn't the vote. Never agreed? Never agreed? Aren't they decorators at sunrise? Aren't they decorators at sunrise? You are not closed. You are not closed. Won't confirm after 3 evenings? Won't confirm after 3 evenings? Could you decide? Could you decide? Are we ecologist a century from now? Are we ecologist a century from now? I have some information about the new product. I have some information about the new product. His grandfather was a recruiter. His grandfather was a recruiter. Can it land in 10 years? Can it land in 10 years? Can we influence? Can we influence? Your son is a cop. Your son is a cop. Is it burnt? Is it burnt? I will have to exhaust all my options before making a decision. I will have to exhaust all my options before making a decision. He could have done engineering 5 months ago. He could have done engineering 5 months ago. Should not be approached immediately. Should not be approached immediately. We were weathermen 4 centuries ago. We were weathermen 4 centuries ago. Can't be a gynecologist right away? Can't be a gynecologist right away? Was it close? Was it close? My relatives are architects. My relatives are architects. My favorite band is playing tonight. My favorite band is playing tonight. Can you help me with this task? Can you help me with this task? My grandfather was a banker. My grandfather was a banker. Was your nephew the manager? Was your nephew the manager? Was your stepmother a concierge? Was your stepmother a concierge? An investor? An investor? The series is very popular among young people. The series is very popular among young people. Would post weekly. Would post weekly. Sold 1 month ago. Sold 1 month ago. No base? No base? Would disappear. Would disappear. Were your grandchildren firefighters? Were your grandchildren firefighters? They will install it in 2 years. They will install it in 2 years. I will use tape. I will use tape. Can they live beyond 5 years? Can they live beyond 5 years? Will he eat? Will he eat? It will make cream after 1 second. It will make cream after 1 second. I don't have any friends and I feel really lonely. I don't have any friends and I feel really lonely. It could be the weatherman 3 minutes ago. It could be the weatherman 3 minutes ago. They rarely retire. They rarely retire. Is your grandchild a manager? Is your grandchild a manager? Were your cousins tailors? Were your cousins tailors? Will they get off the ship? Will they get off the ship? You applied earlier at 2 a.m. You applied earlier at 2 a.m. My father was a lawyer. My father was a lawyer. Were you waiting? Were you waiting? Not stored monthly. Not stored monthly. Are there mother's maids? Are there mother's maids? Can't we shoot at dusk? Can't we shoot at dusk? Your colleague is an optician. Your colleague is an optician. Central Park is a popular tourist destination. Central Park is a popular tourist destination. We'll add it right away. We'll add it right away. Will you be able to get to the meeting on time? Will you be able to get to the meeting on time? You can't know. You can't know. You are managing normally. You are managing normally. He studied abroad in Spain. He studied abroad in Spain. I'm in the room with the drinks. I'm in the room with the drinks. Was his half-brother the referee? Was his half-brother the referee? Not every year. Not every year. It will depart at 5 p.m. It will depart at 5 p.m. They went to rest. They went to rest. I'm not a consultant for 10 years. I'm not a consultant for 10 years. He was able to accept the job offer. He was able to accept the job offer. I can relate after one night. I can relate after one night. Your relatives were hunters. Your relatives were hunters. His brother is a sports reporter. His brother is a sports reporter. I have too much tolerance. I have too much tolerance. Is my husband a cook? Is my husband a cook? Your aunt is an insurance company. Your aunt is an insurance company. Wouldn't he have planned? Wouldn't he have planned?